Hi shooters, this is John with Sun and Shadow. We are here at Arena Training Facility in Georgia for the Quantified Performance 2024 Championship. In this video, we're going to be talking about the different divisions that are in Quantified Performance. And we're also going to be talking to the 3 champions from last year, the 2023 season, and they're going to walk us through their guns that they're shooting this weekend. First up, we have Mike Russo. Mike is the GP champion, general purpose champion from last year, and he's going to tell us a little bit more about his gun. So Mike, can you tell us the rules for the general purpose division?
Sure thing. So with general purpose, the biggest thing is the length of the barrel, right? So we are allotted 16.5 inches. Of course, with the Ridgeline RD 15 LPR, this is a 16-inch barrel. When it comes down to the optic specifications that were allotted, I believe that the maximum on the low end of the optics right now is 1.5x. So this fits well, I think best into that category, being a true 1x optic with 10x on the high end. I believe there are some changes to that rule set coming next year that omit things like the March, I believe it's 1.5 to 15 with adjustable parallax. So you'll see more of the common LPVOs out here, such as the Vortex or the Night Force Attacker.
So basically on the optic, it's oriented towards an LPVO, would you say?
I would say so, 100%, yeah.
Would you see guys with ACOGs out here shooting those?
I have seen guys with ACOG out
Okay,
here.
okay.
Sure.
So basically the general purpose division is kind of like the off the shelf gun division, right? You've got an LPVO, you've got a gun with an ACOG on it. I wouldn't say go for a red dot and a magnifier, but you certainly want to have a reticle in there. But it's essentially oriented around a gun that can do almost everything, the general purpose division. So Mike, tell us how you've set your gun up so that you can kind of maximize that rule set.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, obviously, the barrel is what comes from Ridgeline, right? Not a lot to gain from 0.4, 0.5 inches there. So no modifications to the barrel. I've shot this Vortex 1 to 10 since 2019 when it came out. I'm still absolutely in love with it in the LPVO lineup. Very used to it and absolutely trustworthy. I've been running the piggyback red dot out here for these types of matches. When it comes down to maybe another gun or another solution for a purpose of another build, I should say, if I have true precision glass, I always offset a dot here. But what I like about this for gasser matches is when I'm in a funky position, I can still access this dot a little bit easier than maybe rolling my gun on an unstable position, right? So I choose to use 12 o'clock position here for the red dot on the optic. And really everything else is just kind of normal stuff. What you see is what you get. Um, I'll comment that the only other thing about the general purpose division of what the rule set allows is we don't have a magazine capacity. So we can shoot a D60 out here in the general purpose division. We can shoot really whatever you want.
Can you tell us about the red dot that you have on the gun? Are you using it for shooting? Or are you using it for something else? What's it for?
So I am using it for shooting. The stage, if you will, that I primarily use this 100% of the time is what everybody knows as the mid-range quantifier, the
Sure.
MRQ, right? It's a stage that is designed that has to be shot at every single quantified performance match. The very beginning of the stage, you have to engage targets at 100 yards offhand.
Hmm.
So what the red dot enables me to do in terms of the strategy that I choose to execute is I go ahead and dial for those mid-range targets that are the second set of engagements,
Sure.
and I leverage the red dot at those 100-yard targets.
Okay. Well, can you tell us about the bipod that you have on this gun? Anything special about it?
Nothing special. This is just the good old Harris. This is the Badger Ordnance version with the inverted adjustments here. So if I were to use this as a barricade stop, if I wanted to bring the bipod in further, I'm not going to set my feet off and engage them for extra height. So nice touch from Badger, well thought out. And with the ARCA section here on this handguard, with R-Lock that's on the bottom, this is an adapter for the bipod from RRS that allows me to engage a locking mechanism. You can't see it, but on this side, there's a lever for quick movement that still keeps it locked. Or if I was moving from one position to another that maybe didn't make sense to use my bipod, I can keep this in a certain function and just take a swipe at the lever and knock the bipod right off for speed.
Perfect. Awesome, man. Well, I'm really excited to see you shoot this weekend. I'm going to be in your division this weekend, so we'll see how we do. Man, I'm super stoked to shoot with you. Good luck this weekend, Mike.
Same here, man.
Thanks for coming
Thank
out.
you, John.
Appreciate it. So next up, we have Scott Peterson. Scott is the reigning champ from 2023 in the practical precision division. Scott, tell us a little bit about the rule set for practical precision and quantified performance.
Yeah, so QP, or Quantified Performance, or PP and Practical Precision, just for those of you that heard the acronyms before. Essentially, 20.5-inch length of barrel or shorter, measured from the face of the bolt to the end of the muzzle, not your suppressor, not your brake, and not just wherever you decide to measure it from. And 20-round magazine limit, meaning you can't have a 26-round mag with just 20 in it. It has to actually only hold 20 rounds or less. And that's really it. Used to be, years ago, we had an 18-power magnification limit. They've lifted that, just evolved some of the rules. So biggest part of it is the 20.5-inch barrel length, just to give a little plus or minus from, gunsmithing errors or whatever, and the magazine being 20 rounds.
Okay. Are there any limits on the cartridge that you can use?
No limits on cartridge. Initially, I think that if I remember right, the first match or first two matches, it was a 5.56 only, but now or 5.56 308. Now it's any cartridge. So, there's guys shooting 6R, 6.5 Creedmoor, 6 Creedmoor, 223, 5.06, whatever. All sky's the limit. As long as you're within that barrel length restriction and the magazine restriction, you can shoot whatever.
Perfect. Scott, tell us a little bit about your gun. How did you build this gun to maximize it for the rule set for practical precision?
Yeah, John, so very fortunate to, have some gunsmiths to custom make my barrels and stuff like that. So, like I said, for the rule set, 20.5-inch barrel, so I have a 20.4-inch barrel, measured from, again, the muzzle to the bolt face. This one's in 6mm arc, so I'm running 106 tap Hornady factory ammo. Right now, pushing right at 2,700 feet per second. So I've got a good high BC. It's like a 6BR if you shoot PRS, kind of light in a gas gun, so it's pretty cool. Low recoil, got a good 419 muzzle brake on it. I switch back and forth from a can, so that muzzle brake allows me to have their adapter so I can use both. Just the times I want to run a can, especially if I'm undercover, different ranges. I'm running a 4-20 ZCO. I found that before I ran a 6-36 and 7-35s, and while I didn't use the high end, I found, I bought the scopes for the middle end, the 20-25 power. But in the QP, they've, because of one of the other divisions that you've talked about, having that 1-8, 1-10s, they've now started transitioning some of the stages for closer range stuff. So that 6 to 7X low end it wasn't enough. So I wanted something 3-18, 4-20. I've been really happy with this with the ZCO that I picked up this year. I've got a few weights on it just to balance out the gun because the Gen 3 PRS stock is quite heavy. So I'm running the 419 rail with some of the brass weights, not all. I put the Gray Ops weights on it last night. I'm not sure if I'll end up running those in a match, but right now I'm just playing around with that. And a non-sun and shadow thumb, a little thumb rest there, just something I had in a drawer. So I'm giving that a try, but probably the championship match not the best place to do it. Seekins semi-monolithic upper. I've done a lot of POI shift testing for those that kind of follow me around on this. And so I found this, for what I can purchase currently, has given me the least amount of shift. I still get a little bit. It's about 0.1 mil, but it's less than the 0.5 to 0.7 mils I was getting out of other rails. This is the Badger C1 Max mount. I've got the 1.5 mount on that, so it gives me, I've got good, I got a good cheek height on there. I don't have to run my cheek rest up high or anything like that. Positionally, I can have my head very consistent position with a higher mount. I'm not running, like 1.2s or 1.3s, something like that. So I really like the 1.5 height. Obviously, you got my digital level on this side that you can't see right now, the MDT send it level. Big ambi charging handle, just because if I do have to shoot something weak side, we don't do it a whole lot in QP, but we have. That way I can rack it both sides, and I'm good there. AR Gold trigger running just over 2 pounds, single stage AR Gold. The Troy Lawton or TLC grips, with this broadsword lower from Sons of Liberty, the grip distance, or they've moved the grip back, so the set screw that's normally under the grip that holds your safety detent in is now under here, and that grip is pushed back. So that has, for precision shooting, it allows more of a natural grip. So those of you that run like the A2s and stuff back in the day, it's like you almost box the trigger, like you've wrapped your finger around it. So Gen 3 PRS, like I said, it's pretty heavy. So that's why I've kind of offset the gun a little bit with weights, because this barrel isn't as thick as I would normally want. And then running the Harris bipod with a RRS RRS mount on that one. I've got one with a 419 as well, but run the Harris just for quick deploy and stow for some of the stages here. We've got it like the MRQ or the mid-range quantifier for the match. It's kind of like a skill stage for PRS. So it's a standardized stage, and we shoot that, and you have to deploy the bipod on the clock. So just something that's a lot quicker than some of the others, pushing detents down and levers. So and then trigger cams just to get some footage for my YouTubes and social media. So yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the grip that you have on here? There's a lot of talk sometimes about wrapping the thumb or having the thumb off. Does that grip support both? What do you like about that grip down there? It's kind of more unusual. We don't see that one very often.
Yeah, it's definitely unusual. So Troy is a champion shooter across multiple disciplines. Shoots PRS. He's chief ballistician, Army Marksmanship Unit, and he's been around a lot of different things. So he designed this grip off bolt guns and gas guns. Made it for both. He shoots both. I think this year he's been shooting PRS with gas gun. But the palm swell on it, I like the fact that because I have smaller hands, the grip distance being increased on that Sun's broadsword lower, it allows me to get high. I get a high firm pistol grip. Like that was a whole motto back in the Marine Corps. But high firm pistol grip instead of being dropped down low. So it allows me to get my short little sausage fingers up there and natural placement. But it has a large palm swell, so I don't feel like I'm canning my wrist in. So it allows good wrist alignment. I wrap my thumb. I don't do kind of like the precision grip, as they call it. So I wrap my thumb, especially with the weight of this gun, I can wrap my thumb and pick it up one-handed, whereas if I'm over here, if I pick up a heavier gun, I may slip off, especially, summertime, hands are wet. So this being kind of that overmold rubber, kind of like the older Hogue grips and stuff, allows me to have good purchase on the gun. So for me, it fits really well. Before this, I ran an A2 grip with the finger little separator sawed off and a lot of JB steel stick epoxy on it and repainted. And I'm big on, I want the grip to fit my hand. Yeah. And, it's a one-size-fits-all, but I want one-size-fits-me because I'm the only one shooting the thing. So when it comes to my match guns, I do have loaner guns for students. But the grip, having the gun fit for me, having the butt plate being able to raise up, having weights balanced for me, how I shoot, everything's tuned for me. The muzzle brake, I've tried different ones. Everything about it just kind of works for me. So it may not work for everybody else, but yeah.
So tell us about why would you shoot practical precision? What's the draw there?
So for me, I like the challenge. Traditionally, so I started with a 20-inch 5.56 gun just because I shot service rifle, and we shot 20-inch guns based off M16A4. So first time I heard QP, it was like I was shooting service rifle stuff, and I slipped on. I had a Geisley rail on it for a national match. I was able to slide that off, slide on their Arca rail, change the butt stock, put a scope on the gun, set of iron sights, come shoot a match. So I shot it with a flash hider and 20-inch. I started there, kind of find out, hey, that division is around a 20-inch gun. Well, since then, that division's also always been the largest. So so usually larger divisions, you have more competition, right? It doesn't always mean that's the best competition. So we're seeing more and more now. The other divisions grow. Open kind of was a lot smaller in QP, but we're starting to see more and more shooters show up. But I shoot it just because, one, it's the largest division, and pretty much everything I have is 20 inches. So it's kind of it's competition, and because I'm lazy to make new stuff. I just really like a good 20-inch gun. The 18 to 20-inch, I think maybe next year I will step down to GP and shoot 16-inch to kind of come after Mike, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll go to open and go after Keith, or maybe I'll just stick with what I'm doing and whatever. But yeah, so I like the balance of them. Too long is kind of like a sword. I know, when you had your open guy up here at Keith talking, he talked about transitioning in and out of ports. You have one of the 26-inch barrel, that's just more movement. You're less efficient. The 16-inch guns are great as well, but then you're limited to, for the GP side, you're limited on magnification. I'm kind of a magnification and scope snob, so I like a little bit more.
Perfect. Okay. Scott, thanks very much for coming out.
Thanks for having
really
me.
Appreciate it, man.
Appreciate it.
Good luck this weekend. Hope to see you regain the title.
It's going to have fun.
Stand by.
And last, we have Keith Steffens. Keith is the Open Division champion from 2023. He is back again to defend his title. Keith, tell us a little bit about the rule set for the Open Division.
So Open Division, pretty much is what it is. Anything goes. Any barrel length, any magnified optic that you would like, size, power, whatever you want to run. Magazine capacity, anything that you can hold. You want to run a D60, you want to run a 20-round mag. Anything goes. Yeah, and then anything that goes, except for the only stipulation is 3,200 feet per second velocity on your projectiles. Keep it safe for the steel downrange.
Solid, man. That's awesome. All right, so Keith, tell us how you have kind of maximized your gun that you're shooting at this competition for the rule set in Open Division.
All right. Well, first off, got my ATACR 4-20 here. Gives me plenty enough to seed feedback downrange.
What reticle do you have in this guy?
That is the Mill XT. I've been running that for years now, and I love it and stick with the same thing. Keep it simple. Awesome. I've got a 16-inch barrel here. I could use a little bit more length, but some of these matches I found out that running a little bit shorter helps with some transitions in between. So going with that, trying some things out here. Harris bipod, it's a standard out here. Quick deploy is one of the biggest benefits you can have on a rifle for your bipod. The Area 419 brake does great for minimizing recoil and that reduction, keeping that gun flat, keeping you on target in your scope. And then,
Which cartridge are you shooting out of this gun?
so this is a Sons of Liberty 6mm Max, developed and designed by Brian Cook and with BC Precision. It is pretty flat shooter. Great little round. Very good ballistics on it. Shooting a 103 ELDX. Yeah.
And in in open division, you can shoot anything that you want. Why would you go with a small frame gun in 6mm? Why not 6.5 Creedmoor?
Yeah. So great question. Is biggest thing for me is the recoil reduction. Not getting same or similar ballistics in a small frame, lighter gun. Similar ballistics, less recoil. Sure. Compared to those 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, or any other Wildcats or something like that in that large frame, and just easier for me to manipulate that rifle.
Perfect. Okay. So for a gas gun match, something something that maybe somebody in precision rifle or other similar matches, why is having a lighter, smaller gun more advantageous? Let's say in gas gun.
Biggest thing is transitioning speed. This game's about speed, getting everything in between and moving. So you want to be fast and good hits on target, but you need to have those fast transitions because seconds count really down to the fraction. Every little bit counts, and so shave a little bit of barrel off, so I don't have to pull out of a barricade as far as if it was a 24-inch barrel. Just shaving seconds here and there for those transitions is the biggest thing, and I've found that it has been helping me.
Perfect. That's awesome. Keith, thanks very much for telling us about your gun. Great luck this weekend. Hope you do well, man. Reclaim that title.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.